Hey, I'm Griselda. I'm 36 now, but let me take you back a few years when things got really crazy. I still feel a bit iffy about sharing it, but honestly, it's all because of the revenge plot that unfolded. And I wasn't the one who kicked things off, so I could say everything here is well deserved. All right, let's dive in. I had a short-lived marriage with this guy named Amon. There was a noticeable 6-year age gap between us, and folks were side-eyeing our relationship from the get-go. We crossed paths during an African dance class where Amon happened to be the instructor. Picture this, I'm 26, he's 20, and the air is charged with some unspoken tension. Amon, the dance maestro, wasn't shy about his interest in me. Extra dance lessons, undivided attention in class, you name it. He was offering it all. Everyone in the class could practically see the sparks flying between us, and the feeling was mutual. Hold on tight because things are about to get crazier. So Amon and I realized the significant age gap only a few dates into our budding relationship. I almost called it quits, but love had already taken its hold on me. He was saying and doing all the right things, making it hard for me to walk away. We decided to give it a shot despite the age difference. As we dated, everything seemed to be going well until Amon got the worst news. He had to go back to Uganda, his home country, because his parents were very sick. I had spoken to them a few times over the phone during our little fling, and they seemed like lovely people, and my heart broke for Amon. But his leaving essentially put a permanent pause on our relationship, or so I thought. 4 long years went by, and I found myself celebrating my 30th birthday in the club with my friends. In the middle of the shots and lights, I thought my eyes started playing tricks on me. I could have sworn I saw Amon dancing with another girl. I blamed it on the alcohol until I made my way closer. Lo and behold, it was Amon. He had just returned from Uganda and was readjusting to life in America. What's more, he was planning to move his parents from Uganda to the States to be closer together. This was great news to my intoxicated and love-drunk brain, because his moving back to the States meant that we had another shot at this whole love thing. He told the girl he was dancing with that he would be back later, and we spent the rest of the night chatting it up and catching up. Soon after rekindling our romance, Amon and I picked up right where we left off. It felt as if those 4 years had never passed, and we were still the same people who had fallen in love in that dance class. Amon made all these grand promises about loving me and wanting to marry me, and I was all in. However, there was one tiny problem. He was taking an eternity to pop the question. Time was ticking, and I found myself at 30 with no other marriage prospects on the horizon. I wondered why it was taking him so long. Even after 2 years of being back together, there was no sign of an engagement ring. I started to ponder if he was facing pressure from his parents back home. When I spoke to them, they even expressed their disappointment in their son for taking too long to make things official. "My son is disappointing me." "You think you are the only one who is disappointed? I'm 60 years old, and I'm yet to be a grandmother." Trust me, I've tried dropping hints and telling him that the clock is ticking, but he doesn't seem to want to propose now. He's saying it's too early. Too early? It's actually quite the opposite. Don't worry, your father-in-law and I will talk to him and get his head straight. Father-in-law? Yes, and you can call me Ma too. You're already our daughter, our sweet Griselda. Don't worry. Amon will propose, and if he won't, I'll just have to fly that side and force him to do it. Oh, Achin, you're too funny. Don't call me that. Call me Ma. And I'm being serious. Don't worry. Amon will make you his wife, and he will make us all proud. Just be a bit patient, darling. Akello and Achin were really sweet. They even hinted at their desire for grandbabies, but being traditional, they expected us to tie the knot first. The pressure was mounting, and we were all waiting for Amon to finally pop the big question. However, 3 more years rolled by, and I had reached my breaking point. I couldn't take it any longer. So I straight up asked him if he was serious about wanting to marry me. All he had to offer were excuses. "Babe, you know I don't have money right now. Let me make some money. And I'll give you the best wedding you could ever dream of. I promise it will be worth the wait." "You've been saying this for 5 years now. I'm fed up. If you won't marry me, I know someone else will." "Don't say things like that, babe. I know you're angry. Please be a bit more patient with me." "I've been patient with you. We all have. Haven't your parents talked to you about it all?" "Trust me, they won't stop blowing up my phone. You see, all of my friends are married with kids. I'm the only one left behind. Just give me some more time, okay? I promise it will all be worth it in the end." As I approached my 36th birthday, I made a promise to myself. If Amon hadn't popped the question by then, I'd leave. For good. I vented my frustrations to my friends, of course, not realizing that Amon might have overheard me or been eavesdropping. Lo and behold, not long after venting my ultimatum to my friends, he decided to finally propose. Interesting. The proposal itself was quite basic, certainly not worth all those years of waiting. At the time, though, all that mattered was the relief of finally Amon really seemed to have a change of heart at the last second, and he was now eager to get married. A full 180, if you ask me. Instead of the lavish wedding he had promised, he suggested a quick courthouse ceremony, insisting it would be more romantic with just the two of us. To say I was disappointed would be an understatement. I never saw that coming. "You made me wait all these years for a courthouse wedding? You can't be serious." "It's just for now, babe. You'll have a proper celebration in the future. I just can't wait to officially be married to you, that's all." "But what about my friends and family? They want to see this too." "And they will. Once we get settled down and once my parents are able to live here for good, we'll have the biggest wedding celebration this country has ever seen." "I'm starting to resent you, Amon. And I'll work every single day for the rest of my life to get you to trust me again. But please, let's do this now. I love you, and I can't spend another day not calling you my wife." So we went through with the courthouse wedding, and as expected, it was as lifeless and soulless as I had imagined. Amon seemed to be the only one excited while I stood there waiting for it to be over. Amon saw just how unhappy I was and decided to make it up to me. He surprised me with a trip to Fiji for our honeymoon. I was over the moon. Fiji had always been a dream destination for me, and he knew it. It struck me that he was willing to splurge on a trip to Fiji, but not on our wedding. Then again, what were 2 flight tickets compared to a grand wedding? I decided to let it go and fully be present for the gift that he gave me. As we embarked on our journey to Fiji, the spark we had lost seemed to be coming back. Our honeymoon was beautiful, and we did all the typical couple things on vacation, strolling along the beach, enjoying romantic dinners and soaking in the sunsets. It was beautiful. I never wanted it to end. I was well on my way to forgiving my husband if he kept up this effort. Our 3 weeks in Fiji were magical, and I was starting to believe that maybe we could make our unconventional marriage work. However, duty called, and Amon had to cut our honeymoon short due to some pressing matters back home. The day of our departure arrived, and we were at the airport waiting for our flight when Amon suddenly had a case of the runs and rushed to the airport bathrooms. Gross, but he had to do what he needed to do. I waited for him, but after about 30 minutes I started getting worried. I began frantically searching for him, realizing that we might miss our flight because he was nowhere to be found. I asked the men entering and exiting the bathroom if they had seen an African guy wearing all black in the stalls, but no one had any information. I kept calling him, but he wasn't picking up, and panic started to set in. It was literally 5 minutes before we were supposed to board the plane when I finally received a text from him, and I almost dropped my phone in shock. "This marriage was a mistake. I'm sorry, but you have to go back home alone. I'm done with this. Don't contact me or my parents ever again." What? Are you serious right now? I tried my best to contain myself and keep my cool in the airport, but how could I? It was so humiliating. Feeling stupid and frantic, I ended up missing the flight altogether because I was continuously calling Amon, looking for him, or just a coherent answer. But nothing. All I got was nothing. A couple of airport staff members approached me asking if I was okay because they could clearly see I was distressed. They probably thought I had aerophobia or something. I assured them that I was fine, but deep down I was anything but. After pacing what felt like the whole airport, trying to gather myself and my thoughts, anger started to bubble up inside me. This guy wasted my time, and for what? I had no idea. I wasn't just going to sit by and do nothing about it. So I did what any sane person would do. I booked a flight to Uganda to meet his parents. Well, not technically. I had to book a couple of connecting flights, of course, but eventually I arrived in Uganda, leaving behind Amon's luggage at the airport, since he wanted to leave me stranded there. I guess he didn't care much for it if his plan was to ditch me there anyway. What a scumbag. I already knew where my mother-in-law and father-in-law lived, as they had mentioned Kampala every time we spoke, and they had shared their address because I was supposed to visit them sometime soon, actually. However, they weren't expecting me this soon. I arrived at their home late in the afternoon after reaching the country early in the morning. I knocked on their door, and they were surprised to see me, of course. But they welcomed me inside. I broke down crying, telling them everything that had happened. As if I hadn't been through enough already, they revealed an even bigger, heartbreaking truth. "My dear, this is so shocking. Honestly, we don't know what had gotten into that man. But it breaks my heart seeing you like this. I have to come clean. I'm so sorry." "Achin, no." "Can't you see this poor girl is hurting? What is wrong with you? We have to tell her the truth." "Truth? What truth? You knew about this?" "No, of course not. But we also haven't been honest with you either. You see, the reason why we were telling Amon to marry you was because, well, we knew that you came from a well-to-do family, and we were hoping that you'd help us out. We also knew it would be beneficial because once he married you, he would be able to get his green card." Am I being pranked right now? Please tell me where the cameras are. "We're so sorry, Griselda." "So that's what all this was, huh? You just wanted me for my money and my green card. How pathetic. You didn't have to do any of that. If you needed money, why didn't you ask?" "Pride and honor. We can't just go around asking for handouts." "So you'd rather lie to people who care about you? That's sick." "That's the truth, Griselda. I'm so sorry you had to find out this way. But as for Amon, I have no idea why he did what he did. If anything, it goes directly against our plan. It's not like we hated you. We were happy for Amon when he told us he was in love with you." "Well, clearly, he lied because he just abandoned me, and I don't know why." Achin was just as pissed as I was, wondering why her son had messed up their plans so badly. She said she would call him, but I told her not to let him know that I was in the room because I wanted to know everything. Achin and Akello agreed, both already feeling pretty bad for duping me. When Amon's mother called, he picked up instantly, clearly he couldn't do the same for me. I think I called him like 10,000 times and there was complete radio silence, but he was all of a sudden available when his mother called. Despicable. They greeted each other and Ammon asked why his mother was speaking in English, but she didn't want to answer him. Instead, she just started yelling at him, demanding to know why he did what he did. Why did this girl tell me that you left her at the airport? What? She talked to you? Crap. I told her not to talk to you. Where is Dad? I'm here, son. What's going on? Nothing. Nothing is going on. It was just a prank. Yes, it's a prank. Really? Then why haven't you answered her calls? What are you doing, Ammon? I can explain everything. Just give me a chance. As if the stars were aligning, I got a random barrage of texts coming from my Instagram. It was a lady named Jessie, and she sent me paragraph on paragraph about how she knew Ammon. Not only did she know Ammon, but she was married to him, and they had 2 kids together. Jessie from Kenya apparently had moved to the States in 2014, the same time I had met Ammon. She told me that they were together for 4 years, got married, and had their babies during that time. She then told me that she was only now finding out about his secret affair with me, and she wanted some more details from me, telling me that we could work together to figure out this mystery and also attack Ammon with the truth. I took a couple of minutes while my in-laws were arguing with their son, asking them why he left me, and in typical Ammon fashion, he was struggling to come up with a good excuse. I felt like I was going numb, like I was leaving my own body because I just couldn't believe what was happening. This revelation was such a shock to me, and I was pissed at everyone all over again because I thought Akello and Achin were still lying to me. How could they know about this and not tell me about it, when we had just discussed the importance of being honest because I was the victim in this situation? Even though my plan was to keep quiet on the call, I was so mad that I burst out shouting. Listen here, you dirtbag, I know everything. Who the hell is Jessie? Jessie? Griselda, where are you? How did you... Jessie? Don't act surprised, Akello. I thought that we were being honest with each other, but clearly I was wrong. What are you talking about, dear? Why the hell wouldn't you tell me about his wife? Wife? Oh, no. What wife? I can explain. You're telling me that you guys didn't know? Know about what? I started reading out the text messages I got from Jessie, and I watched Akello and Achin's faces drop as they realized that their son had been lying to them. What the hell is this, Ammon? What is going on? I was going to tell you. Just so you know, being married to 2 people at the same time is illegal, Ammon. You're going to pay for this. For everything that you've done to me and to Jessie, apparently. I mean, what the hell is wrong with you? What sort of a person lives 2 lives? Hold up. Wait a minute. Married to 2 people? Who's the second person? What? Achin, it's me. Me and Ammon got married last month. Last month? Nobody told us about it. Really? He told me that he told you guys. Well, what are we supposed to expect from a liar? Well, it looks like lying runs in the family. Griselda, that's not fair. We didn't mean to hurt you. We didn't know about this Jessie, or the fact that you guys are married. Ammon, why didn't you tell us? What happened to the plan? And who is this Jessie? You were married for 4 years and you didn't tell us? And I don't see why you wouldn't. You were literally here in Uganda taking care of your sick parents and... Sick? Who was sick? Oh, great. So you lied about that too. Why am I not surprised? You should get an Emmy or something. What is this about sick parents? Your lovely son over here told me that he had to leave America to come and take care of the both of you, and that's why he was gone for 4 years. So not only did you lie to us, but you included us in your other lies. You wished sickness upon us. Your own parents. Guys, please calm down. I can explain everything. Like hell you will. You will book a flight right this instant and tell us why you did this foolishness. Don't bother. I'm going to go home and I'm going to report your sick son for all the crap that he has done. I should report you two as well, but honestly, I don't feel like going through all the trouble, with this being an international case. So I'll settle for this instead. See you both in hell. And Ammon. Yes? See you in court. I had to push past both Akello and Achin because they were begging and pleading with me, telling me that I needed to forgive them, but I was so angry. It was all too much happening at once. I stayed in the hotel room that night crying the night away, asking God why it had to be me. The next morning, I was on my flight back to Florida, trying to pick up the pieces, but everything felt so empty. Ammon's phone apparently started working again because he was calling my phone non-stop. Obviously, I ignored every call. I couldn't deal with the lies and the pain anymore. I had left Jessie on read, forgetting to get back to her, but also not being in the right headspace to do so. I told Jessie everything about the green card, about the honeymoon, and how he had disappeared for those 4 years. Jessie got back to me almost instantly, telling me that he was still in America during those 4 years, but he was in Colorado instead of Florida. All the while, Ammon hadn't stopped calling me. I was getting sick of him calling, so I picked up the phone and said, "What? What could you possibly want from me now? You ruined my life. Please, you have to listen to me. I don't have to do anything. You're a scumbag, and like I said before, I'll see you in court. You can't do this. They'll take away everything I've made for myself. My kids, what about my kids? Screw those kids. You couldn't even give me any children, yet you are walking around town with 2 kids to your name. You're twisted. Please, Griselda, you have to help me. My parents are saying they're going to disown me. They don't want to be associated with the case." "Oh, how lovely. That means no one is going to be associated with your lying behind, including those kids who deserve a way better father than you could ever be. Please don't do this. Please, can I come over? I'll explain everything." "Why don't you explain everything to your kids, so that they can see just how worthless you are? Listen here and listen well. If you call me again, I'm going to add harassment as another complaint in this case. Got it? You've wasted basically 10 years of my life. And you think I'm going to let you get away with it? I'm going to sue you for every penny you have before they ship you back to Uganda. Now don't call me again." I hung up the phone, but of course Ammon kept calling and texting, begging me for mercy because he didn't want to lose his kids. He should have thought about that before getting married to 2 people and trying to live a double life. I'm currently waiting for my case to be dealt with, and I'm suing him for bigamy, loss of enjoyment of life, as well as harassment. I'm going to get paid because I deserve this compensation. Me and Jessie are even planning on meeting up so that we can discuss our lawsuits together. It's been weird, but I'm low-key bonding with this girl, even though I should hate her in theory. I guess misery loves company, and who better to lick my wounds than someone who's going through exactly what I'm going through. She even has it worse because she has 2 kids she has to break the news to. Woof, I would hate to be in her shoes. According to Achin and Akello, they're very serious about not wanting to contact their son, saying that he has brought shame to their family and that welcoming him home will be embarrassing because apparently word of this has traveled fast in Kampala, with people staring at Akello and Achin when they're walking about town. Serves them right as well, because they weren't completely innocent in all of this.